Hello everyone, T-Man978. Right now we're going to be taking a look at DC Multiverse by McFarlane Toys.
Yay.
Batman from Batman Beyond. He's a part of the collect to build Batman Futures End wave. And one of his nemesis is Shriek right here. I bought this a while ago and I never reviewed it because I took it out the package and I was like, meh. But what a time. I might as well just do it right now since Kevin Womack so graciously allowed me to borrow this so I can review it. Look at that. This is what their what their packaging typically looks like. And as you can see, there's no artwork right there. It's just figure art. So, yeah. Now I gotta talk him into letting me review some of his hot toys. But, yeah. Here we go with this. There are two versions of Terry McGinnis. This one that comes with the collect the build piece has the face mask right here, which I'm not sure if he actually used in the actual animated series, but he does in the comic book, I guess. And this suit is way more detailed than what you saw in the actual cartoon. It just looked like a very anime style, like retro futuristic Batman suit with not too many details, to be honest. It just looked like a black suit with a belt and this symbol right there. And the main thing that really I don't like about this is these wings are permanent. Like in the show, they kind of came out of nowhere underneath of his arms, like Spider-Man's wings under his arms, but they're permanent and it's attached right there. It kind of reminds me of like back in the day when you get one of those little rinky-dink figures that got 5 POA and they have some type of gimmick attached, like a sword coming out the arm or some crap like that. It's like taking a more high-end figure and slapping a gimmick like that to it. Kind of frustrating. I wanted this version more than the one with the actual mouth because it comes with two of these Batarang that actually look like the Batarang he used in the cartoon. The other one had these big chunky, well, maybe one big chunky regular looking retro Batarang that I don't recall him using. It's shaped in the old Batman symbol. It's shaped like the old Batman symbol anyway. He has these claws and he comes with hands that you're supposed to put the Batarangs in. I'll show that off later. But articulation is just like you normally get with McFarlane. They can look up, look down, tilt side to side because it's on a dumbbell joint. Shoulders do this, rotate, bend here. Get the universal wrist that can do whatever. The diaphragm, let me move these wings out to the side. Diaphragm does that. Tilt to the side, rotates and whatnot. It's this part of his body right here is pliable but stiff, really. The legs go out, it creases the plastic. The more you have that out, it's going to keep the plastic creased. Kick forward, you can go beyond that, but like I said, creasing the plastic. You don't really get any thigh rotation, about as much as you get on a Mafex or Figma. You do this, but Mafex and Figma usually compensate somewhere. Like especially Figma, they usually have a rotation at the knee. And he has universal ankles, so whatever you need. And the toe joint is stiff on that foot and kind of loose on this foot. And here's the sculpting on the bottom of the feet. If you hold his arms out and put the little spikes on the back of his arms through, you can imitate him gliding and whatnot. Of course you can. It's almost kind of designed just to do this, period, to be honest. Of course the fists come off. On the figures that have removable fists, they come off very easy. On the figures that don't have removable fists, or not designed to, it is difficult as crap to get them off. But I'm gonna put these down like he has a little red cape and let you see that yes, he can hold these. So there you are with that. just like this guy does, Shriek, Terry came with a little disc like this and a card with the bio on the back of it. I put it somewhere. I don't feel like finding it. Leave me alone. Before we move to Shriek, I want to make sure I show this off. This is actually, this peg right here, which I've never noticed, is actually the peg that's supposed to go into the wings, so his arms can be further up. Now for Shriek, and as the name implies, he's like a sound generating villain. Well, there he is, tormenting Terry right there, Batman. Here is his one real accessory that he comes with, this sound wave right there. And you see how the fingers go through there? It's actually reversible, so you could decide to put it on this hand if you want, just by swapping and manipulating the fingers through there. So yeah, I like him way more than Terry right out the box. The materials feel better, and the past few months, it seems like they figured out a way to make the materials more pliable and softer. So like I said, this part right here was tough on Terry. It is not on him. So I like that. So you get a lot more fluid and less stiff motion right there. It is really cool. And when I kick up, he can kick up beyond Batman Beyond and go right back down, and it's so much more pliable and less rigid. It doesn't crease the plastic. The plastic just folds and gets right out of the daggone way. So there's no creases or bends or flex. I like that. Now, the joints and whatnot are still stiff. Don't get me wrong, but they don't feel... it's like a different consistency. Like, that feels so rigid. But you get all the same type of articulation. Wait, let me just show you the body first before I get into all that. While I still had the lights down for him. But he's covered in these transparent parts, which I also like. It's rare to get that in an action figure that's not a Transformer. Like, the hands are translucent on both sides. Now, because of his design, he is lacking in one area, which I'll get into, but he has more detail on him, which I'm pretty sure is comic accurate and not the animated series accurate. But I showed some of the articulation. Let me get into the head. He can look up and down and tilt side to side way more easier. I love it. That is awesome. It's way more fluid. The shoulders, you get that same articulation, go a lot back, can come forward. And since this is attached to the bicep, that swivels and gets out of the way. It is hindered, I'm not gonna lie, but you get more than 90 degrees of outward. You get more than 90 degrees of that. The wrist. The wrist. They basically just rotate on a ball joint. I mean, you can angle them up and down like that, and in and out like that, but not a lot of up. I would have liked a little bit more up. What I would suggest for McFarlane in the future, if they're watching this, I guess they didn't want you pulling this out of the socket, so they probably glued it to this forearm. But I would have liked it if this could move just like the dumbbell in the neck. It feels like it moves a little bit, but not a lot. Well, I showed all this. You get a lot of that. I like it. I showed that. I showed this, and you do get the universal ankles and whatnot, so it can go back a lot, come forward. You get definitely a lot of ankle pivot. And let's see, no, that's a little bit looser than I would like. This one is a little bit more stiff. But on the Mortal Kombat figures that just came out recently, Cabal and Noob Saibot, they added a new feature where it has like little teeth that groove while you're doing that. So yeah, but anywho, this, I really like this guy. The only hindrance he has is the wrist articulation, but He does have weird hands, so, and you saw me get him into, he can get into, well, you didn't see me do this because I didn't do it, but he can get into the typical superhero crap if you want. So he's great, he's posable. The way the joints move, it's close to, but not as fluid as Storm Collectibles. Like, the materials make it feel like that. Like, this is soft, pliable plastic as well. So, yeah, definitely, please don't stop using this, McFarlane people, McFarlane company. Here's a size comparison, and idea for the future. If they decide to redo this, I would redesign the back, make this able to pop in and out, and then design like a little plug that you can fit in there so his back can look normal. But definitely how it's like protruding right here, I would completely redesign the way this plugs in. I'm not a toy designer, but I trust that y'all can figure that crap out for a deluxe version of this dude that comes with that, these batarangs and the flying effects all at once. That would be awesome. Yeah, I don't think they're in the same timeline, but I've seen pictures or I've seen videos where Batman Beyond and the regular Batman timeline are in the same timeline, and he's not from the future. So, meh. Here's another figure. This Aquaman is like really freaking tall, as you can see. He's usually taller than all of my other figures. They have like him and Johnny Cage are really tall humanoid McFarlane figures. And of course, as you know, they're bigger than 6-inch Marvel Legends. So, like I keep saying, you could always pretend that these dudes are like big, muscular, 7-foot-tall dudes, depending on the character. But, or if maybe you don't want to even care about them being DC characters and pretend they're other characters and want to make them fit in with your 6-inch, you can. But yeah, they're not designed to. They're 7-inch figures. My surface is not completely flat, and I will have to admit it is difficult getting their little universal ratchets to get at an angle to make it easy standing up. So this is a good reason why they come with these daggone stands. You can get them standing up, but you have to definitely work with them. I'm not even going to hold that against them. Anyway, I really like this Shriek. The Batman Beyond, he sacrificed his look for the gimmick of the wings and whatnot. I wish they came up with a better way to do those wings. And his joints are just so stiff and rigid and don't feel fun to work with like Shriek. And everything I just mentioned. I don't want to keep repeating myself. Anyway, thank you, Kevin, for letting me review this. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here. Join the Syndicate Toy Hunters Facebook group. Link in the description. Click the videos. Click the fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You really should click those videos. Click the